We are the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Friday Night Frenzy. I am Nick, and then joining me, as always, is Shipper Extraordinary Nix. How you doing, girl?
Howdy.
All right, then, and then also we have the man who has worked many jobs but has hated all of them, Chris. How you doing, my man?
Jeez, what's with the job?
I'm sorry, you're an easy punching bag. I do not apologize.
Jeez.
And last and certainly not last and certainly not least, the woman who has 5 divisions and somehow somehow find time to manage every single one of them, Roselinath. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, so what's everyone up to? How's everyone's week been going?
Helldivers.
Oh wow. Nice.
I know, I've been obsessed with Helldivers too. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, it has. Oh. Hey,
I was gonna
Tarek, how you doing?
spreading that liberty.
Yeah.
Well,
Liberate the
something,
hell out of you.
How have you been, Nix?
Been better, been worse.
All right. So, Roselinath has a comic book she wants to give some promo to, but first we got some housekeeping to take care of.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, past hysteria.
Hey, Mr. X, and then the Dave in Paris says the Junkler DLC. Yeah, how is that, Dave? You know, I've pretty much written it off. So, all right. First off, for those who are on YouTube, look below. You will see we have reached 500 subscribers here on YouTube.
Nice. Mazel tov.
All right. So I guess you can.
The game has changed, son of Flynn.
All right, so in order to get the mini monetization, we've reached 500 subs. We just need to get our watch hours up. We're at about like 1,300 or so watch hours, so that's not too far off. We can do this. Let's get the monetization. Let's get the super chats. So let's keep this this ball rolling. And then so that means because I hit 500 subscribers, I got to do the 500 subscriber special. That'll be next Wednesday. Let me open my calendar here. It'll be April 3rd, and I will be reading Spider-Man One More Day.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Not the birthday gift I was hoping for.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No. It kind of sucks, but Jared, I kind of made a bet with Jared that I wouldn't reach 500 subs, and if I did, I had to read. So I'm nothing if not a man of my word. So. Yeah, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
I'm not Starfire at 1,000.
Well, don't give Jared any ideas. Do not give that bastard any ideas. But no, actually, I was thinking of doing reading the episode 4 script. Like we all read it as like a radio play kind of thing. Like that's a celebration right there. That's gonna be some me time. I just want to do all the episode 4 memes live on the air. So, Dave, you shut your mouth, okay, buddy? You shut your mouth right here and right now.
That's just blasphemy, Dave.
That is. So, also just want to remind everybody that Turn Samurai, Samurai New Detroit, is still available on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Walmart. There's also now a hardcover edition.
Ooh, hardcover.
Yeah, sorry, too easy. No, too easy. You almost had me. I almost took the bait.
I did throw the bait.
Guys, she almost had me. I almost took the bait.
So close.
Yes, so very, very far, my friend. But no, and books have been getting out. Jared has one. I don't know if you saw his video yesterday. I would have mine. Mine's supposed to be getting delivered today. it's supposed to be getting here anytime now. They have till 7. So if you guys hear me say, hey, gotta be right back, fill some time, that means the book is here. So hopefully I can show it on stream.
Nice.
So yeah, 500 subscriber special is going to be on Wednesday, and then on Monday we are having Ginger Cast 3, The Revenge of the Gingers. The Gingers have had enough, and now they strike back. It's going to be me, Eagle Rose, and Harmony Ginger. You guys have been a great supporter of the Ginger Cast, so we're doing it, and then hopefully it becomes a series. We shall find out here. But so Rose, I hear you have a comic.
I do. Division 5 is the name of it. It's a sci-fi horror with action and a central romance. And I am about to launch a Kickstarter in a few days.
Nice.
Oh, really? Do you have the pre-launch page?
I do. So it's Division 5 Volume 2. It's going to be launching on April 2nd at 9 a.m. If you do want to read the comic, you can read it on Global Comics, Tapas, or Webtoon.
Wow,
but if you like to have the but if you would like to have the physical copy in your hands and you want to see it become a reality, you can back the Kickstarter on April 2nd. I will be including Volume 1 again because that was highly requested. So you can get both Volume 1 and 2 in a catch-up tier.
Yeah, can you send the pre-launch page in the private chat, please?
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
I mean, don't dip in the mustard if you can't catch up.
Oh. Well, not April 1st. Oh man, but then everyone would think it was a joke.
Yeah.
The thing is, you see, Roselinath, that's when you launch the campaign for Division 69.
Darn.
Wait, what?
No, that's when you want a good April Fool's joke. You launch Division 69. Come on, don't leave me hanging, people. Don't leave me hanging.
Haha.
Say it. Say what you say after it. Come on.
What?
The best number.
That was the joke.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm fairly positive it is going to get backed. Like, it's gonna get funded.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. The question is, how quickly is it gonna get funded, though?
Yeah, like I feel like once you kind of get to a certain point in your comic book career, you reach a point where it's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna get funded. The question is how quickly and then how much after that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is my second Kickstarter I've ever ran. Yeah, so my first one was last year for Volume 1, and we had 114 backers, which was way more than I expected. Yeah. And it was about 500% funded. So it blew me out of the water. It was to the point where I ran out of all my stretch goals, and I had to make stretch goals on the fly. So
you really had to stretch some stretch goals, didn't you?
Yeah, I was pretty stretched out, and so
you were
for this one,
I'd say.
Oh yes. So this one, hey, thank you. We are now at 55 followers. Okay. So if we hit 60 followers, welcome. By the way, before launch, I am going to include another free reward for anyone who backs in the campaign. I'm not going to give away what it is yet, but it is going to be a surprise. If we can get 5 more people.
The lady has to have some secrets, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So Volume 2 is currently at 164 pages.
Rose.
So it's a big book. Yeah. Stretch arms vocals. Yes, I am Elastigirl.
Mine is
running out of stretch goals. That's a good problem to have. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good problem. You know, that is a good problem to have.
So the first one was pretty.
Guys, quit funding me! Quit funding me! I'm running out of stretch goals.
No, I have a few ideas of extra stretch goals I'll put in this one. I'm doing the same thing again, where I have 3 stretch goals. First one's going to be the bookmark, where everyone who's a physical backer gets it. The second one is a map of Division 5, and it's going to be like an actual poster you can unfold and slap on your wall. And the third one is a pinup of winter, which has been highly requested by a lot of people. So that is the last stretch goal I have. So that one's at $2,500.
Oh, a pinup, eh?
Yes, it's a pinup print.
Are you gonna go full Vargas on us?
Absolutely.
I don't think you know what I meant by that.
No, I don't. No, it is tasteful.
Okay, Vargas
Safe
was an
and
artist.
tasteful.
He worked. Vargas was an artist. He worked for Playboy. I think you can infer the rest.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. No. So it's like a tasteful like pinup of her, which was highly requested, and
Okay,
it's
not
safe.
Vargas.
It's
gotcha.
safe. Not Vargas. Yes.
Okay. It is safe to pin up on your cubicle wall.
Exactly. It is. People walk by and be like, "Ooh, that's nice."
I mean, I would hope so.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
So that's a 2,500.
So what's your book about? What is Division 5 about, and what happened to Divisions 1 through 4?
Divisions 1 through 4 it's currently not on the records right now for public knowledge. But
what about Dave's question?
Let's see. Her comic character is a cosplayer as a stretch goal.
Oh, wow.
I am not opposed to doing another pinup for a stretch goal if people want it. Because I actually did a poll for what people wanted. But anyways, so I'll dive a little bit into what Division 5 is about. So the way I usually describe it, the Toulon Reed version is a scientist is trying to find a cure for Cosmos Plague, which is literally killing everybody. And he travels to Division 5, which is an alien planet, and he finds a woman who is immune to it and becomes obsessed with her. There's a lot of gore and there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of badassery from the main two.
Is there any kung fu fighting?
Perhaps.
Please tell me there's a scene where everybody is kung fu fighting.
Depends on your definition of kung fu fighting in this world.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they have the fist like lightning, I'm all good.
Oh my gosh. Winter, so she has a mutation where she is able to align her body with ice and attack her foes and kill people with that.
Oh, cool.
That's cold.
Yeah, so she I know, right? She's up and close and personal.
So I guess you could say Winter is like,
all right, everyone, chill.
I love the pause. I love the pause after that. That just made it so great.
Yes. So she is she's a certified badass. She is no thought, all action. She doesn't really think too much before she speaks. Like everything just flies out of her mouth. And I also did I made my first novel recently. It clocked out about 94,000 words, and that will be on Amazon this summer.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Like, yeah, I'm doing a novel myself. It's gonna be hitting Indiegogo here late this summer. But
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. But this is about you, not me. So keep going.
It's us. It's about us. The R's. The R's.
Dave is a fan. Dave's a fan. You have another fan.
Oh, I took the Ice Fires of one of my favorite genders. Yeah, same. That's my favorite gender too. Well, if you're interested, you are more than welcome to back the Kickstarter and see Volume 2 become a physical reality.
Yeah,
very cool.
I like things become physical realities as opposed to digital.
Yeah, same. So I have Division 5 set up where if anyone wants to read the story, it will always be free to read online. But if you want that physical, you gotta cough up a few dollars.
So let's get physical. What is it with me in like the 80s music puns today? I don't know why.
Because 80s is a vibe.
Yeah.
Well, it's a synth wave anyway.
So what kind of challenges do you find different between writing prose and now your Division 5 graphic stuff? Is there do you have big Bibles of stuff or?
Oh, geez. Well, so I used to have a whole script for Division 5 for the comic, but then I lost all 3 years of my work.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So when that happened, I was like, you know what? Yeah, that was me. I was like, okay, so I have everything in my head. So I was like, that's all I really need. It's in my head. I've read it over and over, and it was kind of a good thing I lost my 3 years of my script that I worked hard on.
Wow.
Because it made me look at my story in a different perspective, and I didn't take it I was probably sad the first 10 minutes, and then I went, you know what? I can make it even better now. I have different ideas.
So you're saying that you can rebuild it. You have the technology.
Exactly. So, you know, when something goes wrong or sideways, Symphony of Happy, it's a way of life. It's true. It is a way of life. I would know.
I feel like I need to throw up a picture of Screecher just to get everyone to like calm down or something.
Is Winter really making everyone simp that much?
I mean, have you seen the response in my chat? The chat is on fire because of you. I hope you realize that. I need to grab the fire extinguisher.
I'll just send a picture of Winter because I have a bunch of art of her.
Okay. Start showing some pictures of Winter. Let's get the chat really ablaze.
All right. Hold up. I did that dress challenge that's been going around on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
It's whatever.
It's Twitter in my heart.
Yeah,
exactly. In our hearts, we'll
always have Twitter.
Let's see. Let me throw it in this chat. I have this one.
Actually,
this is a canon dress.
I
can do a screen share.
Oh yeah,
I can. I didn't know that.
Yes, I have the power.
Oh my gosh, I learned a new thing. Okay, all right. Let me.
I believe in you.
I am currently
going
to the picture.
What the bloody
Simp is so hard he just broke the simp for you.
Yeah.
All right.
The pick of Winter calling fancy had a simp. Oh yeah. That's actually my my Twitter header. Hold up. Okay. All right. We're gonna do this. All right.
Wait. Before we do this, I have to do this for Goblin. All right. I'm pulling up a clip here that I have to show him. Let's see here. Goblin, this is for you.
Who are you gonna call? Someone else.
Someone else. Great scene.
Simp Busters! I mean, busting does make me feel good.
Oh no.
Busting makes me feel good. I have that sound clip on
I'm
Discord.
sorry.
I use it all the time.
Oh, have you seen the edit where it's like bustin'?
Yes, I have. I love that video so much.
One thing I saw in one of the trailers that Frozen Empire, they actually call upon that joke where Paul Rudd says, "But bustin' makes you feel good." Like, anyway, Rosalind, please share.
Let me see if this works. Is it this one? All right, cool. I've never done this. Is it showing my screen? Okay, here.
Yeah, it's showing your Twitter.
Here's the picture. All right, there we go. There's the picture.
Yeah, there's a trailer.
There it is.
All right, show some other ones.
All right, cool. I'm just going through here. Where's that dress meme? Here it is. The one that's been going around Twitter as well.
Oh no! That's now.
This is
talking about pinups.
Bonk. You get a bonk. You get a bonk. You get a bonk. I get a bonk.
I know who I'm sipping for now.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're like, screw JoJo. I'm with this person.
I'm with this person. I actually also made my first animated trailer like by myself.
Oh.
It was a really daunting
Rose,
challenge.
You have some questions. You need to answer some questions.
Oh no! What's the questions? I haven't looked.
No, look at the screen.
No.
Where?
Gamer Eco says, "Look at her tabs, full of midget pee."
Yes.
Oh, Nick.
Wow.
Nick is happy now.
You're welcome. No, I was gonna say there's a trailer I made. If you guys want to see it.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
See if it works.
Actually, I have a video queued up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you want me to do it?
Yep. Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right. Here we go. Let me just do that, and then I get to hear myself.
Fancy hat, where the hell did you go?
Winter, there's something important I need to tell you.
What is it?
If anyone else were to discover your Immunicosmos plague, then our lives will be in far more danger than whatever the Cloak's tribe leader has in store for us.
Very cool.
So, anyways, I learned how to animate. I made
Wait. This is chat's reaction.
Oh my.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the trailer currently for this Kickstarter.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Hey,
I have to
thank
say.
you.
So, how long are you planning on taking this?
So like Division 5 as a whole, or like
The story.
the story? Book 1 of book 3 is currently finished. So the novels are a trilogy. The comic, I am planning to at least do the comic up until the end of the first book. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a long it's a long haul. So you can expect a lot of Division 5 in the future.
Oh no, not more Division 5. No.
I know, sad, right? They're gonna have so much Division 5. I don't even know what to do all of this.
You're gonna be making so much money, selling so many books. You're gonna be so successful. Oh, the horror.
What a struggle. It's such a drag, right?
Yeah.
So
Back of
speaking
hand
of
to brow.
struggle, sorry, it's a perfect segue. So make sure to back her book. Back into the stratosphere. This I want this to be a $3 million campaign. I want this to make more money than Eric, Ethan, all the people combined. This is the next thing in comics. So back Roselinath, she's awesome. And if you don't back her, well, okay, fine. That's okay too.
Understandable.
Yeah. I was kind of
Anything
like,
but the pimps.
Anything. Oh no.
No. Oh, I got it. I need the happening thing, like that, like that one.
What? No.
No, you have to do it with less emotion.
Sorry.
All right. So we have 3 people who have released comic books and Nyx, and I figured. How you doing?
And Nyx, just outing Nyx like that.
Yes. Well, the thing is, she's so beautiful. She makes more money than the rest of us just by selling JoJo picks.
Ooh.
I wish. God, I wish.
I almost believed that.
Almost. I almost had you.
Almost. But
I wanted to talk about, since we have 3 esteemed combo creators and Nyx. I'm gonna run that joke on the ground. I wanted to talk about.
I'm gonna come out with a comic and you'll be sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sorry because then I had to throw all my money at you. So that's why I'm gonna be sorry. God dang it! Now I gotta empty my wallet and throw it at this woman to support my friend. But no. But I want to talk about I would say, like, Chris and Rose. I would Chris, I would say you guys probably get this question every so often. Up and coming people being like, "How do I create a comic?" And there's a lot of people who are coming into this who don't really know anything. I still class myself as an idiot, but I'm a cultured idiot who has a few things under his belt and is kind of like fallen face first into success. You guys have a bigger tab on this. I mean, Roselinath is swimming in the gold. She screwed McDuck here. So I just wanted to ask you guys, what did it? I'm trying to think of a way for this. What was the moment that you guys realized you had this? Like, that you were like, not necessarily you were there, but more like, hey, this actually might work out. What was that moment for you?
I'll let you know when it happens.
When I saw the entire chat simp for Winter, so I think that was my moment right there.
So you're saying the moment happened like a few minutes ago?
Oh no, this moment always happens. It's always happening.
I would say, for me, was probably with Turn Samurai issue 2, but I would say definitely Screecher. The response I got to Screecher issue 1 was just amazing. You know, because apparently people like their female superheroes. I don't know why, but like we love our we love our ladies that kick butt. I just don't know why.
As everyone should. That's
I
my
mean,
response to that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. So here's Screecher for y'all. The simple over. I know Rose is probably more important, but so yeah, this is Screecher, and this is kind of like my I made it moment. And like when I held Screecher for the first time, Screecher was the first time that I felt like I'd actually made a comic. Like Turn Samurai is good, but it felt like I was like it was compromised in some ways, in a little bit. But when I held Screecher, it felt like I had finally made a comic that could stand toe to toe with professional stuff, you know. And if you look at Screecher, like, yeah, it does. Like, I feel like Screecher does stand toe to toe with Marvel, DC, in terms of like art, story, all that stuff. You know, presentation. It feels like an actual comic to me. And I think Mr. X kind of puts it well.
Oh, you know, I mean, me and friends have made jokes about this before, but we're just like, yes, we like characters who are well written who happen to be female.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It's almost like we like characters that kick butt and look good while doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, no. When I'm working on like character design, especially those who have to do any sort of fighting, like Winter, for example, like that's something I like consciously think about. Winter has been revamped many times. I think I have at least 100 reiterations of her, if not more, that I've done.
Oh wow!
I have so many. I've lost count.
So, question
until I got to a final design.
Question regarding like costume design. Like what inspirations were you drawing from? Like, for example, here's Shiva, the villain from issue 2. I was trying to do more of like a ninja girl kind of design a little bit, and also she was kind of meant to be a bit of an inverse of Screecher with her stuff. So yeah. Like what inspirations were you drawing from when you designed Winter? Because obviously Winter's design is inspired.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like this is going to be an obvious one, but I was obsessed with Assassin's Creed, so that's where it started. And I also have a thing for like characters in hoods. I just think characters that wear like hoods are really cool. I don't know why.
Are.
I mean,
I know, right? It's just like that. And for Winter, I don't know what it was. I was just like, she needs a scarf. I need a lawn scarf on her.
But yeah, so for Shiva, I was definitely going like Ninja Girl, but also I was hitting that in Mortal Kombat well, which you know, the rope dart, and then with that, you can definitely see the Mortal Kombat influences on this.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's just I've always thought like Mortal Kombat had like really great character designs and also like really good lore. Like I've never really been that good at Mortal Kombat, but I've always enjoyed like the lore, the world building, and whatnot. You know.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to work on another character outfit on the side here too. I'm trying to do like a like an Arctic type of outfit, and I'm just like, I need to make it look more like slightly more modern because I keep going towards like a slight fantasy-esque look, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. Not for this one.
Yeah, my thing is the one thing that I kind of noticed when I was designing Shiva, I noticed like so if people don't know, I also do Torrent Samurai. She also kind of looks like a Torrent Samurai character almost. Doesn't help that I use the same artist for both books, so there's a little bit of a bleed through. But yeah, so like you know how I was talking about like the Mortal Kombat influences. That like this is the cover for issue 2. This is it on full display, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those like versus screens kind of thing.
Still looks awesome.
Oh yeah, shout out to Nefarious Watcher. He's actually doing the cover for issue 2 of Turn Samurai, and it's, oh my god, I've seen the progress shots. It's gonna look really good.
Hey, let's go. Oh yeah, it's awesome when you get to show off your covers. I was so happy I was able to finally show off Volume 2 cover because I've and the animation too. I've been having those sitting in like my files for like months before I was able to finally post, and it's like,
Oh wow.
Yeah, I finished that animation November last year.
Yeah, it's just been sitting there all that time. You're like, I gotta get it.
Yeah, and I also
Wait.
finished my cover last year too.
I'm gonna see if I can do this right.
Nani?
No, I just did. I tried to do the Ichigo henshin right there.
What was that?
Kamen Rider, because Ken B says Shotaro Ishimori for life, and yeah, I'm a big Kamen Rider fan, definitely. So Chris, what has been some of your struggles to establish yourself as an independent creator?
I would probably say the biggest would be getting it in front of people and gauging interest. I've learned that in the indie sphere, like, you really it's hard to get honest feedback.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
Yeah, you put it out there, and you never ask your friends to proofread your stuff. Like, friends are the worst editors. They're your worst proofreaders. They're not going to give you honest feedback. They may say they are, but they're not. I tend to find either people I pay or people I know that are assholes are my best sources for feedback, because they're giving it to you honestly, and there is none of that fifi element.
But yeah, and to add to this, I would say the biggest problem with the feedback is it's either one of two extremes. Either you have the people you're friendly with, or your fans, who they'll just whatever you put out, they're going to say is the greatest thing ever, and they'll fight to the death people who disagree. Or you have the haters, where it doesn't matter what you put out; it could be the greatest thing ever. They're going to dissect it to high hell, and like, oh, this, that, 3D asset, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so it's really hard to get actual feedback unless you're paying for it. And even then, like, anyone can say they're an editor,
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of struggled in the past where, like, I've had editors who didn't do their job. Like, I've had editors who are more concerned about, like, oh, I want to make sure this critique has, like, snarky remark in it than actually giving me, like, solid good advice. Mm-hmm. Or like for example, I've told the story a couple times. I had an editor who I put into one of my scripts that they had a wake after a funeral. And they said, oh, no, wakes are before a funeral. And I told her, every funeral I've been to in my life, the wake has been after the funeral. This comic book is set in my area in the same time period. Even then, they tried to, like, argue against me. Like, come on.
Well, what is a wake versus a funeral?
No, the wake is like the thing that happens. It's like where people gather, they have food, and they kind of talk. It's like, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And funeral is when they put the body in the ground.
That's a graveside service. The funeral is when people gather, say stuff, they cry, and then you go to the funeral. Why are we talking about this?
Yeah. When do you sit shiva? No,
let's see. When I'm ready. Okay, so when I'm ready to look for an artist, what are some tips on finding a good one that won't cost much and is offering a 50-50 partnership a good idea?
No.
If you know the person, I would say if you know the person really well.
Nope.
Like,
even if you're friends with them, dude, never mix your money with your mates. Like, if it's your baby, don't let anybody else. Like, this is where paying people, you need to clearly define the professional relationship, like, right off the bat. Like, this is mine, and I'm paying you to do this.
I would say if you do get into a 50-50 partnership, it has to be with a book that you are okay with losing. And what I mean by that is losing the rights to. So,
oh yeah, everything.
Like if you're just doing a book where like, okay, this is just another book, and if I lose the rights to it, it's not the end of the world. Then sure, roll the dice, but don't gamble with your babies.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from experience with that stuff. It's a mess. I mean, I didn't do it with comic books. I actually did it with video game stuff. There's all sorts of drama involved. yeah, it was a mess.
One thing that I'll say is never do per spec. Like never offer a percentage. If you're not
never.
like, if you're,
the only time I stay far away from anyone who offers things like that. But like I am my own creator for everything. I'm the artist, writer, editor, everything for my comic. So I don't have to go out and like find a writer or editor because like I edit my own stuff.
You. Yeah,
like
that's a good way to go.
Doing percentage with no money up front, I think is 100% no go. Because trust me, I like the people I've had agree to that have been like the crap artists. I will say there might be times when you do a percentage and money up front, like a discount on the rate, but that's on a case by case basis, really. And even then, that's a roll the dice, in my opinion.
Yeah, whenever you give or relinquish ownership of something to others, it becomes less of a, like when you stop becoming the producer / product manager and start going into a partnership with others. You're now part of a collaborative project, which means all of your intentions, all of your ego, whatever, goes right out the window because other people are now contributing to this and they have their say in it. And, if you're somebody like Rose, who's literally, she has every hat, she's doing everything. That's the best way to go if you want to have 100% control over everything. It's great, but
not everybody's as talented as Rose. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's great to take advice.
I'm just built different.
Yeah,
clearly you're built to stronger stuff.
But the moment you relinquish that, though, it's not even a matter of you're okay to lose your product. No, you have lost it. There's going to be those little zags when you're trying to zig. There's going to be things where it's like, well, they never told me about that. How come you went to a con and you were, shilling our book and never told me about that? Or, oh, you got the book reprinted, huh? Oh, that's my name's not on it. Oh, that's weird. Like that will happen.
I've never had these problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had these issues because I do my own stuff.
I would disagree slightly and say it can work in some circumstances. You just got to be very sure of the person, and even then, you're rolling the dice. So just be careful. It's honestly better. The best possible scenario is you either pay for everything, which does get expensive, or you be like Rose and be like, I'm good at everything.
Yeah,
I try.
But as far as the hiring the artist part, so you can go about that a couple different ways. One thing that I've found some success.
I'm for hire.
Yeah, hire Rose. She clearly does good work. Clearly does work. Hire this lady. But I've done Fiverr, and there are diamonds in the rough, but you have to dig through a metric crap ton of shit. There's a lot of crap on Fiverr, but there's some good deals to be had on Fiverr. You just gotta dig for it. The other thing is like Twitter, Reddit. Like there's lots of places on Reddit that are artists for hire. Facebook groups are also a good thing. Just be very careful. And the other thing I would think is, even if your budget is like, let's say it's like $30 or $50 a page, just put it out there because you never know. There might be an artist that is willing to do it for that much. And then like if you go on Twitter and be like, oh, that's too little, like screw them. Screw those people. Because what you'll end up is, for every like 2 or 3 people that call you names, there's like 15 that are offering you the services at that price point. Okay, especially in like South America and like foreign countries, there are a lot of really good artists that do it for a lower rate. So you don't have to pay the extra money for the artist in America or whatever. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it just depends on who you go to and like what you want. Because and like this is how I think of it too. At the end of the day, it's like it's your vision as well. So you want to find the
Mhm.
best possible person who mingles well with your vision and understands your vision the best with
Yeah, that's
like
the other
what you
thing.
want to do.
Because there
So
is a
I
trick.
wouldn't just I wouldn't pick the lowest like
Yeah.
person, like the lowest budget person. I would pick someone that you know you would work well with despite the price too. Having a good communication, like an open line of communication and connection with the person, like work with and collaborate with,
Mhm.
goes a heck of a longer mile than like just also budget as well. So keep that
Yeah.
in mind too.
Yeah, there's kind of a trinity for like getting work. It's like being good, being on time, being easy to work with. And I'm just gonna say this right now. I'll take an artist who is lesser quality, who is easier to work with, than a higher quality artist that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
Um,
I avoid those honestly. I'm actually slowly commissioning artists here or there, like once or so a month, and like I realize that I'm pretty picky. I don't know if it's a bad or a good thing, but I'm always trying to look for like someone that I know that like I could have easy communication with and isn't like difficult to talk to.
Hmm.
Price points haven't really been an issue because I'm willing to like pay whatever it is. Well, that's just me though. But like I am always like looking for people who have like for example like they have like a commission seat like ready for me to look at, and I don't have to like really dig for that, or they have like a link tree or like a card or something for me to look at too, and like their term and services are as well, or terms and
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah, some of those get really, really risky though. Like I've noticed some of the cards they put in the fine print, and it's like, you're not gonna get that by me. And I look and it's like the artist reserves the right to sell and print media created from these commissions, blah 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 blah. And it's like, what about like I'm commissioning you for a commercial project? Like if I'm commissioning you to like, make the cover for my book, and then you go and sell prints of that cover before the book is even released, kind of hurts my sales.
Yeah, those are I don't know if you're aware of a website called Artist Beware.
Mhm.
Like you could just slap them right on that.
Yeah.
like you know, and I speak as an artist myself. I
Mhm.
like I know what to look out for and stay away from, and there's a lot of artists where I'm just like, I'm gonna try to find someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been burned a few times. Whew.
Oh yeah, same. I've had it where I thrown money and I never got the commission. I'm at a point where
Same
like
here.
some comps, I'm still waiting to this day. Legends still say the commission's still being worked out to this day.
Ooh.
That one hurts, especially when it's a lot of money and they're like, or it's like the second or third commission from them, and you're like, oh, okay, I've got no reason to doubt they'll deliver, and then a year goes by and you're like, wow, they still haven't delivered. Hey, email, what's going on? Oh yeah, I'm still working on it.
I'm still
yeah,
working on it. I'm like,
yeah, yeah, like the thing that I found, and this is a common problem I had with a lot of artists is if you don't, you basically have to babysit a lot of artists because
Hmm.
if you don't like get on their
because
ass,
a lot of artists
all
don't know business.
Mm-mm.
That is the answer. A lot of artists that you see that have like commissions slapped open, a lot of them don't understand how business works, or like
Yeah.
how that like business transactions work. They have the skill to like draw the thing, but like you also need to know how to like talk shop or talk business to like
Well,
like
yeah, and,
actually
yeah,
like
and
sell it. And
deliver.
that's with any product. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what any like product is, not just like art. That's with selling like anything.
Yep. Yeah, because churn, which is so there's a no sale where somebody's not interested in buying your product because they either don't like it, don't like you, whatever. But then there's the churn where they actively want to return the product or they are a very unsatisfied customer or something. And as a salesperson, that is your absolute worst scenario is a churn because they're going to
Yeah.
go tell their friends.
Yeah, you don't want that. Doesn't matter how good your art is. If you want to do commissions, I always recommend like learning like how to talk to people, because some people who do like commissions and like I've asked like they don't know. They don't know how to sell. It's such a
Oh,
turn off.
yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like I don't know. Like I'm a like so writers it's kind of like by default, like, oh, you're the writer, you pay for everything. Whereas artists, they do like they have no skin in the game, and so like when artists like I need this stuff for the deadline, they're like, oh, you know, whatever. I don't know. Like artists tend to have like an ego to them that I like. Some of them have that, and I find that very off-putting.
Well, I stay away from a lot of. I don't know. Again, I'm just built different, but I don't like. I like because I'm a commissioner myself, and I like. I look for the red flags, and I know what to stay away from.
Yeah, like it's weird because it's double-edged. Where, like, I know there's an ego or whatever to it, but like a lot of that is also part of that salesmanship. You know, I'm worth what you're paying for. Like, you know, there's a lot of especially beginning artists that have that low self-esteem arc where they're asking for too little, and then they have to take on multiple commissions, and then they get overwhelmed. And then you get that. Yeah, then you get the overcompensation ones, which
like I'm sorry if I'm paying $100 a page for art, you better be really good and easy to deal with, because I am not paying $100 like this. Like I see all these artists were like, oh, I'll charge $80 a page, $100 a page, and then they act like pieces of crap to you, and then they're like, you are not worth $80, you know, because I am not paying $100. If you got to be really good, and honestly, past $100, I want a name. Like you better have some credits. Like there better be a name attached to that pencil, because you know anything more than $100, you know, you're entering professional territory there. And unless you're like really good and really easy to work with, I will not work with you.
Well, it also comes down to what they're charging. You need to offset and make a profit from. So if they're a super expensive artist and you can't sell that book to make back what you've invested into it, then you're not making a business. You're just selling a vanity project, you know. And that's by name financially.
And by name, I mean like, let's say you have a funny animals book, and you get let's say you get Matt Groening to basically draw some stick figures for your cover. You know, like he just does some Skittles. You can sell on the fact that Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, did your cover. Like that name alone, even though it's literally stick figures, that name alone will get a lot of interest, and that has value. That has value. That has value. That is kind of an intrinsic value. And if like, I'll pay money for a name because that gives me stuff, you know, to say, hey, like that's kind of the thing. Like we do pay a lot for these covers, you know, and certain people names, you know, let's say like, oh, Bill Larson did the, you know, or all that stuff. You know, say, oh, they did this, this, and this. It has value.
Well, I've noticed that was a mistake I made with my product, and in all actuality, I don't really care. Is that I didn't buy names to push my product. I got over 350, almost 400 backer sales combined, all that stuff. So clearly there's still value in the product without a name, and the name probably could have pushed it even further. But I went for like what I liked, you know. I looked at artists and I looked at, you know, their portfolios and stuff, and went, wow, this looks really good. I'd love to have them, you know, create an image for me. And it worked out for the most part. But yeah, I remember talking with a comic artist, one of the DM groups, and they're like, dude, like, you know, if you want your book to be successful, when you're commissioning an artist, you're not commissioning the artist for the art, or commissioning the artist for their name, their audience. They will come over, you know, like if somebody's a huge seller in the comics field, like you said, if you're selling a Matt Groening product because it's the brand that's selling things, not the actual stick figures.
Like there are people who buy stuff. It's like any other artist, you know, you buy it because it's an artist you like. And that is a valuable tool, but it is just one tool, you know. And there is a debate to be had. What is better to have, really good art or a really well-known artist?
Yep. Yeah, that's. Yeah. And I mean I know I'm kind of bucking the trend on that, but I'm trying to sell to a comic book demographic fantasy artists. You know, and those are two very distinct things. You know, there is some crossover, but you know, having people that worked at Blizzard or Riot or people who've worked on Wizards of the Coast book covers or whatever, to comic book people are like, I don't care. Like, I don't know who that name is.
I don't ever think about name when I like commission people. I only think about like what I like, and if it like I like commissioning people to like see what my character looks like in their style. But I guess like the type of commission stuff I do is for personal. It's not for like my like I don't sell it. So because
for me,
stuff I sell is my own.
Yeah, for me, it's more people I know because I do a lot of cons and I get to know like some of the local creators. And there's also like creators that like artists that I looked up to growing up that I want to commission. Like I want to commission Scott McDaniel to do a cover for Screecher. Scott McDaniel did like the Chuck Dixon Nightwing, like from the mid-90s. He did the art for that. He did the interiors. Like I'm a big fan of Scott or like Mark Silvestri, you know, like the guy who did, you know, like a lot of the Top Cow stuff and, you know, like really good artists. You know, it's people that I've always looked up to. I mean, heck, I would love for Bruce Timm. If I could have Bruce Timm do a picture of Screecher, that would make my day. Like probably make the millennium actually. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's all about like fulfilling the dream. Like I wanted George Perez to do something, but he since passed away. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. You know, for me, it's a lot of work with people who you know, work with people that I've always wanted to work with, or like I said, certain styles, you know. But I do tend to work with the same people over and over again. And this kind of tends to happen as you kind of go.
That's what artists want. Like that's what I like having is like you don't want new people all the time. You want like returning people. That's what keeps it going.
Yeah, like for example, if you look at the credits for my books, basically one guy draws all my books, a guy named Brian Quiroga. And like I've been working with him for like 2 or 3 years now. And I found him on Fiverr and you know, we kind of since evolved from there and we have a great rapport. We know how to talk to each other, we know how each other kind of works, and like Brian hits kind of that sweet spot of price, easy to work with, quality and speed. Oh dear God, J. Scott Campbell doing a cover for me would be yeah.
Oh man, Joe Mad is so good that Blizzard had to rip him off.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at my prices. Yeah, I'm definitely an artist who has slightly higher prices than whatever you're looking at. But I also value myself, so.
Yeah, that's an important thing that a lot of artists, especially ones starting out, like there's that weird like self-esteem issue where they're like charging money for their work. It's like, yeah, dude, you're doing work. Like you are worth this. Like picture it in hourly intervals. Like, are you willing to work for 70 cents an hour? No. Yeah.
Like I can show you my commission rates if you guys want to see them, like briefly, like how I do it.
Sweet.
Like I'm just gonna say it right now. So the only commission rate I have is if someone wants to commission a script for me, I charge $100 per 20 to 24 page script. That's how much it costs to own me. So
that's how much it costs to own me. So like this is like my rendered rates.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like if you wanted something from me, this is pretty much what I have it at. And like
so 175 is
full body.
Okay. Is that full page or just full body?
Oh, this isn't my comic rates. My comic rates are different. I don't have that on me right now. The handout. I'm redoing those. But like in terms of like actual illustrations, like if you wanted a book cover or something like that, it would be like this.
That's cool. Yeah. And then plus 20% for background. You want to add an additional character. Yeah, it's very clearly, spelled out like that.
Easy.
These are very appreciative. It's speaking as a hashtag, just writer. Like
okay. I got something. I got an axe to grind. The thing that pisses me off is when you see like these posts, message me for rates. That pisses me off so bloody much.
It's because they're trying to negotiate, and it's like, No, like you should have a
no. That's what they're trying to
defined-
do. In sales, there's a sales technique of if you get a person to say yes by messaging them, you're already somewhat engaged. You're already on the path to buying them. Okay.
Yeah,
like it's a sales tactic. All right. And yes, it is like they choose their rates. Like every time I question artists on it, they get all pissy about it. Be like, oh, some things are more complicated than others. Like, come on.
No,
you're drawing.
you can just
drawing,
you can easily make like one of these, honestly.
Yep.
And then like it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Like I just slapped this together and I was like, here you guys go. That's it. Now you get to see like what you see is what you get, basically.
Yeah, and then all it takes is you sorry, someone grabbed your camera next.
That's great.
So yeah.
Man.
But anyway, but no, like all you have to do is just put like an asterisk and say anything more complicated will require negotiation, or just some sort of clause where like this is my art style. If you want anything more complicated, it will cost more. Discuss it. You know, like yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being honest and upfront right out of the gate, and having it in text is also a good thing because it's documented. Like, as you know, anybody in business says that having it in print is worth way more than a handshake. So,
like, I'm
yeah,
just gonna tell you,
Roselinath,
those cards are worth their weight in gold to me because I as a creator who is looking to hire, I just want to go to Walmart and look for artists. Like, I'm not looking, like, when I pick up a soap bottle, I don't want to talk to it, be like, okay, soap bottle, how much are you?
Yeah, let's haggle.
You're that much? And then
you're that much.
And then I had to pick up like 50 different soap bottles and talk to it before I decide, because here's the thing. A lot of people, they don't want the awkward situation of they talk to the person, they get the rate, it's too much. Most people wouldn't have the don't want to avoid an awkward situation, so they'll just say yes, and that's why they want you in that chat with them.
Yeah, they want to pressure you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't do that because like
most people don't like I say, okay, that's too much. Have a good one. And sometimes they get pissy, sometimes they don't. But that's what it is. It's a sales tactic.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty upfront about like cost of anything. That's why I have like like a commission sheet right there, like slapped up. Like, here you go. This is what it is. Like this is what you would have to budget for if you want it from me. And of course, I include like revisions and things like that. But like it's like, there you go. There's the price. And if you like it, if you like what you see, then you can consider it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets frustrating too. Also, where like, so everybody has their own process. Like some people are like 50% upfront, 50% upon completion. Others are like 100% upfront, or some are don't pay until after the rough is approved. And so on. But I find that generally, if it's clearly spelled out, hey, we're not going to do any revisions after the rough is approved, like, or once the ink is approved or whatever. Because I've seen some artists get taken for a ringer.
I'll do like minor revisions like after it's approved. It depends on what it is. If someone lets me change like half of the artwork, I'm just like, I'm sorry, but like you're asking me to redo like so and so hours of work, so like I have to add on to that.
Yep.
That's why I always stress, like while I'm sketching or doing flats or line or anything, I'm just like, you need to tell me now if you don't like what you see.
Yeah,
if
that's definitely something that
I change it.
That's definitely something that I've had to learn to get better at. Me and my editor of telling stuff that is wrong. Be like basically like pencil stages, you can kind of fix things, but once the inks are down, that's it.
Yeah.
But and I would say one like Turn Samurai has been a lot smoother because we've been a lot more vocal about getting our changes done by the time we get the inks done. And I gotta say, like as we've been doing the inks, like basically me and the artist have just been rubber stamping each page. But I also wanted to bring up another payment method that's done. This is especially good when you think the artist might jump ship. Is you pay per page. Like let's say you're doing a 20-page book and it's $50 per page. Oh, here's a page, $50. Another page, $50. Or whatever. That way, if they jump out at you, you have X amount of pages that you paid for, and you didn't pay them the whole thing. Like that's another way.
I got burned on that. Like I prefer locking down like chunks of pages. Like we'll do it in batches of 10 or batches of 20 or whatever. Because I had one artist that, we're all negotiating, everything seemed fine or whatever, and we're going to do page by page. And I got 2-3 pages in, and they're like, no, and flaked out. That was like quite a bit of money just thrown away. Like, it was like a false start. And then I had to do it again.
Yeah.
And then you do it again.
Yeah, like, I know. I've had that kind of thing. Like Turn Samurai issue 1. I had the thing where I had this one artist. I'm not going to name their name. They did like the first 17 pages, and then they had to leave for mental health reasons. And then I had to have Brian do the rest, and that was kind of awkward. And then I've worked with him ever since. I don't know. I've dealt with some really crappy people. I definitely have a list of artists I refuse to work with again.
Well, it's where like the hashtag only writer thing that's like our pitfalls, because we essentially shoulder all of the burden and all of the responsibility and all of the finances.
And the artists don't care, and the artists just don't care. Like they just take their bag and like even if you do actually get the art from them, they're like, oh, I did my job, bye.
Yeah. And that's where it's really important to develop a good, solid working relationship with your artists. Because if they're not quote unquote loyal and they're just going to ditch you, like you're not going to have a solid product, because it's going to be like a castle built on the surface.
It's also why I'm very careful about who I commission.
Yeah.
This is why whenever I see like the topic of like artists are the most important thing in the book, where what's selling, I kind of get a bit of stick up my ass. Because and this is why, like, the thing that I don't understand is currently in the indie scene, there's kind of like this hyperfixation on like the late 80s, early 90s, the comic boom era of comics. Like they want to keep doing those type of comics when that's what killed the industry. You know what saved the industry? The late 90s, early 2000s, when books became more writing focused.
Yep. Well, it's also
when every page is a splash page.
Well, it's weird because there is a double-edged sword there. Like I have a lot of respect for artists. I have a lot of admiration. I have a lot of admiration for people who can do things I can't. Okay, but in the same regards, like there's a lot of artists out there that have a chip on their shoulder. I don't know, and I'm not naming any names, but it's like there is a reason why there is an artist, and there's a reason why there is a writer. It's kind of like. Like why there's an engineer and why there's a designer. Those are two very distinct things. But if you've ever worked with engineers, a lot of times you're like, well, I can design this, and then they design it and the customer tries to use it and they're like, what do you mean I have to enter in a text prompt? It's like, well, if you had a designer, they would advocate for your user and you have a better product. But what I constantly see is I can do this because I'm an artist. We don't need writers. They're dumb and they're superfluous.
And that's when you get what I like to call artists who write syndrome. And every time
me.
Rose, we're not talking about you.
There's always exceptions. There's always exceptions, but what I want to get at.
See, my situation is I'm too poor to afford anyone to like do stuff for me. So I'm just like, I'm gonna do it myself.
Well, it's also admirable that you can do it.
Hire me. I'm the cheap date. Rose, hire me to write your script. I'm a cheap date.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like if it's solely just an artist, throw in a half-eaten bagel and you got yourself a deal.
All right.
Like if you just want to do art and I am so great, I am art, then make an art book or make a picture book or something, you know, because there are plenty. Like I've backed a lot of independent books. Okay, I backed a lot of these books, and some of these books look absolutely gorgeous. I was like, holy crap, I feel like shit. Like I look at my book and I'm like, holy crap, my book's good, but like these are like hardcore industry veterans. These are people that, you know, have dipped in the indie sphere or whatever. And then you read the book and you're like, well, the paneling is awkward. The lettering is horrible. And the story doesn't make any sense.
Who here has read Spider-Man #1 by Todd McFarlane?
If I have, I forgot it.
So Spider-Man #1 was the first time Todd actually wrote Spider-Man. It is atrocious. That issue is like 90% captions of everything. Like to be fair to Todd, he did get better by the time he did Spawn. But even then, things are a bit rough. But like that Spider-Man #1, like the art is great, but like it's all frigging captions, and I'm like, I got a picture I'm about to pull up here, but
well, my thing is like, if the story is shit, but the art is great, is it still a book?
Like, take a look at this.
Yes.
This is like part of page 1, but like, look at this. Like, come on. It's like Todd thought, it's like this guy doing a voiceover the entire, like, I guarantee you Todd was thinking, I'm having to do a voiceover, but like a writer would never do this.
That's a sick panel though. That looks really cool.
Oh, it looks great. But the storyline.
The point I'm trying to make though is
the paneling is not that great though.
Yeah. You can,
or not paneling, but
like,
you can tell he did the art first and then the panels later. See, this is the problem, is an artist, he just draws the pages and then fills it in wherever. There's no planning. Whereas when you have an artist and a writer working together, the art and the writing is synchronous. You know what they call that? Comic books.
Well, also though, you can have great art but a shitty story. I'm not going to go for issue 2. I'm not going to go for issue 3. You know. Meanwhile, you have the opposite of that. Okay, look at like the original Crow when James O'Barr wrote that, and when that came out, that writing looked like shit I did with a ballpoint pen. I'm sorry, the art looked like it was really bad. I'm sorry. The anatomy was off. It was all in black and white. It looked like high school doodles. The story, absolutely breathtaking. Kept me back. I bought the reprint. The hell, they made a movie out of it. Clearly, there was something there. But if the art was great and the story sucked, I don't think it would have been the same outcome.
I mean, another example, and I think this is even better. I'm pulling this up here.
Like I can show you my paneling and like how I do it. I was explaining this to someone earlier. But, like the way I set up my comic pages.
Like look at this.
Oh, okay,
this is Scott Pilgrim. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shit art, but great story.
Like the art does its job, but this is like 8th grader art. Like it looks like an 8th grader drew this. Like 8th grader who picked up the How to Draw Manga book 5
the
minutes
gorillas.
ago. Yeah, like it's got a good story. It's Scott Pilgrim, I think, was kind of a right place, right time kind of book, but still. Scott Pilgrim was basically like captured a moment in time. That's his place.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, if you are an artist and a writer, I was gonna show off and explain why. So the method that I do, and I was explaining it to someone else earlier today, was I actually do my lettering first before my art.
Nice.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Create real estate.
Yeah, so like here, I'll show off this page, for example. And I'm sure you guys already know the zigzag pattern that you're supposed to follow on a page. Well, you're not supposed to, but like you should.
Well, rules are made to be broken, but you need to know the rules before you break them.
Yeah, for sure. So when I start my comic
well, you're
pages,
definitely zigging and zagging.
Exactly. So like when I do like my comic pages, I always write on here and I try to see how much my text takes up, but I also try to make sure all my text is in that like type of like Z pattern or that like zigzag pattern. So whenever, I do these, so like right here, you can already see it like happening. It's like an easy flow and you can just go like right to the next page like that. So, so all of this is like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this here. Okay, I should probably put like this speech bubble here, and then so on, because it needs to all flow together.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you are an artist and you want to also be a writer, that's one way to go about it. That way you know where your speech bubbles go, and then you can draw around that. Because I do know tons of people who are artists and do comics that all their art is done first before they put like any of their lettering or their speech bubbles on.
Yeah, and then they have to cover their art, or sometimes the lettering is too like you have to start editing what you're saying because it's too long, too many letters, or starts jumbling up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know for me, what I do is I have the artist do the roughs, and then I have the letterer come in and then like point out where the speech bubbles are going to be. And then then we kind of adapt it to the speech bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Like at the very early.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I have my art adapt to my speech bubbles.
Yeah, that way you'll never run into a problem where a speech bubble is covering a piece of art that you wanted to.
I will say one problem that writers run into when they do comics is, and this is something that I've really had to like curtail myself on, is brevity is the soul of wit for a comic book writer. Like you need to learn to say things in as little as possible. Like limit the dialogue, economy of words, and also like implied action is your best friend in comics first and foremost.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, what helps with me is that when I'm writing the script, I'm actually having the story play out visually in my head. So like when I'm creating a scene description, I can see it in my head, and I'm just kind of transcribing what I see. Let me pull up one of my comic book scripts, and I'll kind of show you what I do.
I do that too, especially when I'm writing my novel. I like it like my brain is my movie theater, so
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, honestly, once you kind of get down to it. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting everything.
Yeah, David mentioned like that's why he wants to do the panel layouts himself, because he wants to kind of direct the film, so to speak. And when I wrote my scripts, I wrote them in screenplay format initially. so we had to do a lot of.
So this is the script for Screecher #1, and I kind of have like my own format that I write these scripts in. I designed it for readability. Okay, so you have page 1, panel description, and then dialogue. And I as you notice, like page like this is kind of different like kind of stuff. 14 point, and then everything else is 12 point. If you notice, I'm actually very brief with the panel descriptions, because my aim is to just basically just get enough across so that my artist knows what I'm trying to do, and then let them go from there. I'm pulling up Screecher page 1. Okay. I'm just gonna I'm gonna just share the entire screen, and then because it's that way it's easier just to do comparison. All right. So yep. Here's page 1 of Screecher. All right. We open to the sight of a little girl in pigtails. We see her jump down from the place in the backyards and down towards the camera. So you notice how it's not exactly how I describe it? Because here's the other thing about it is collaboration. Oftentimes, the artist will have an idea for a scene, and what they think is usually, in my opinion, better because I'm a writer, not an artist. So I've kind of gotten to the point where, like, if I hire someone, then I trust them. I trust their judgment. Like, for example, look at panel 2. Avery and her father, Harrison roll in the dirt. You know what? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, they're not exactly rolling, but you kind of get the implied action. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then one thing I really liked is he brushes it, like, this was the idea of the artist. Like, this kind of, like, after-made kind of image. That was his decision, and yeah, it worked really good. But so yeah, you see how I do these descriptions. Like, you see how I do the descriptions? They're kind of directed to the point, and then the artist kind of fills in the rest. There is trust in this. There's a lot of trust I put in the artist, but when you trust the artist and you have a good thing, it actually works really well.
Because allows interpretation. Because like it's like kind of like what we're going back to like what we were saying earlier is it's once you invite someone else onto your project, it's a collaboration.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if you're just paying them, it's still a collaboration. Also, in case you didn't notice, the reason it's sepia tones is I was trying to be like, this is a flashback, communicates a flashback, and like this is kind of like your. Unfortunately, there was no next time. This is supposed to be like your kind of take you out of there, and that leads to page 2 or whatever. But that that's kind of it's a little bit you're behind baseball right there, inside baseball.
Well, when I was developing, I guess I should say when I am developing my second book now, I've also looked into. I have multiple artists doing different versions of the same book, and it was interesting seeing their own take on the exact, like on the scenes themselves. Like you said, you left a room for interpretation in the paneling. When I was adapting mine, I took it from a screenplay because, my script, I kind of cheated. Like my script was written over 30 years ago. A bunch of punk teens playing Dungeons and Dragons or my own game system. And, we put it into a story format, and that's kind of where I kind of got most of my writing from. It's why I'm not really interested in going prose, because I think that the medium that I've settled on, comics, definitely is, in my opinion, the best avenue for presenting it. Like if I were to write this all down in a book, it'd be like, oh, look, another fantasy novel. It's like, oh, it was inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, like,
I think that's because I think your background, like obviously you're a writer, but I think your background is you're more of a game designer than a writer. Because like you work for a lot of, I don't know.
I was a narrative director, dude.
Yeah, but obviously knowing your past, you do have a strong game design background. And
I'm sitting here knowing I went to college for 4 years for game design. What are you talking about?
Versus me, I'm very much
up the graphics on level 3.
Yeah, so this is kind of where like I would have a different opinion, but neither of us are wrong, kind of thing. Because I'm a writer, and I come from like strictly writing and a love of like sci-fi, fantasy, to where I love the comic book medium, but there's some stories that I have that I can tell in comic books, and some stories that I can better tell in a book, and so that's why I've written a book, and it's going to be crowdfunded and whatnot. It's gonna be great. Also, nice. Ahoy, the city. How you doing? We're just talking some shop here.
Yeah. If possible, I'd like to show off kind of what those two different art teams tackle.
Do it. Go for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
All right. Well, so on my screen here, I've got the. This is actually a third version of the of our book. This is the volumes 1 and 2. In manga form. It's not finished yet. It's in black and white, and unfinished. But this is the manga approach to the books 1 and 2 combined, and it's leveraging the line art with some zipatones from Team 1. And over on the website, we've got previews of books 1 and 2. So the team that worked on book 1, they're also working here on book 2. And as you can see, or is it? We've got this nice little layout scene here where we've got this camp at night, and there's people coming in, and it goes into this whole story of these people hunting, coming. Basically, it's a raid on this camp, and these elf people are basically fighting combat. It turns out it was a kind of a quasi flashback story, and it fast forwards to modern times, and we've got this nice little window shot where we've got this mom talking to her kid, and somebody comes in talking about how to make the kid stop screaming, and they presented with a problem, blah 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 blah, and that's pretty much what we have for Team A. But here's another art team's interpretation of that same exact.
No, I need to ask you a question. Why are you having two teams work on the same book? Because I'm just gonna be blunt. It kind of sounds like a waste of resources.
Well, it is and it isn't. It is in the sense that it is costing double the amount of money, but it isn't in that I'm trying to find a sweet spot in terms of what sells more. Like the comics market is drying up, and there needs to be something that you're basically going to get or net the most amount of your customers.
I need to push back on that a little bit. Like that's just the common narrative of like comic pros, because the manga market is really strong. Indies are popping off.
Well,
the interest for comic books are still there. It's just a lot of comic books aren't giving what people want.
Well, that's why I'm also making the manga version here.
Mm-hmm.
Manga is eating the West's lunch, and
that's because manga, in my opinion, is giving people what they want. It is giving people the stories, giving people the stuff that they want.
On the surface level, I would agree with that assessment. But on a business level, I would say manga is a lot more accessible than comics. Nobody's going to want to pay $15 for a 12-page, 16-page color book when they can pay $5 for a 400-page black and white book.
Yeah, like honestly, if I could, I would sell my comics at $3 a piece. If I really wish I could, but I literally can't. I could maybe get away with selling them for $4, but I'm making like minimal profit, so I sell my comic books for $5. It's just easier.
Yeah, and that's
I literally just have where people can read my story for free online.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Well, the thing is, everyone herald digital comics is like the next step in reading comics, and I'm not saying it crashed and burned, but I feel like digital comics didn't take over in the way the industry thought it would.
Well, I still think there's a big market for it. I just think it's a very.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not saying like it's this big like it's not like physical comics are not going away anywhere. Going anywhere.
Yeah. And obviously, if we can get like this manga edition here, which is a combination of books 1 and 2, done in that nice line art essentially with zip tones. For $5 or around that. I'm trying to find printers where I can actually get it down to that level. Then this might be.
Have you looked at Comics Wellspring?
I use them
printing. Yeah.
They're amazing.
Fun fact, Rose. I live 20 minutes from Comics Wellspring.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had to use Comics Wellspring for my first Kickstarter.
They're great.
Mainly. Oh yeah, they do. They not only do the printing, but they do the fulfillment as well, like shipping fulfillment.
Yeah, I do Critical
Blast on demand.
Yeah, I do Critical Blast for my fulfillment. He's great. RJ is great.
Yeah, well, for me, it's just easier to do that because I'm in a very unique scenario where I can't ship out like stuff for a Kickstarter. Like I can't do it myself. I have to have someone do it for me, and I don't live in the United States right now. I live in a military installation, and we're not allowed to use the post office for business purposes. So I'm in a very unique scenario compared to average Joe, where I have to rely on something like Comics Wellspring for my printing and my shipping. But it's great because Comics Wellspring is very easy to work with. Their prices are very fair. and the quality of their books is like even better.
Yeah, I love them. But here's another thing I kind of want to bring up is the eternal Kickstarter versus Indiegogo debate. I actually think it's just a matter of preference. It's basically what matters to you, because both sites have both their pluses and the minuses. Both sites have issues. Like neither of them is an outright better choice. Well, I feel like Indiegogo is better to use. I feel like their model is better. Kickstarter has better reach. But the biggest problem with Kickstarter is they don't take the money right away, so you have drop pledges. You have to hunt people down for their address, and then there's also the Kickstarter is a bit more censorious. But I've heard some of like Indiegogo. Indiegogo has like a stink to where like even if you're not aligned with any of these groups, like Indiegogo is the CG thing or whatever. Like there's like this vitriol to it. I personally don't care. But also, Indiegogo has done some bit of an underhanded stuff. And for me, I'm going to keep using Indiegogo until they screw me over.
I think what I'll end up doing is, obviously, I started with Indiegogo, and I'll most likely continue with them. But I think I also won't limit myself to just Indiegogo. Run the campaign on Indiegogo, then run the campaign on Kickstarter, and then go directly into retail mode, which is, you don't get the white glove treatment. You get the print on demand version, so there's a little less quality control that the print on demand services offer that that white glove treatment of crowdfunding kind of provides. I.e., you can get tchotchkes and stuff, additional perks. You can actually, define how you want your book to be printed. I know, for example, like this Amazon edition here of book 1, I really like the cover done here by Nelia Hale, but one of the things that really kind of bummed me out was their policy is they don't have interior covers. So, my books, when I print them, they have this nice little spot relegated for credits. Well, you can't do that on, for example, Amazon KDP. They're like, nope, we just have blank white covers. So the retail version of book 1 here unfortunately has an unsightly white cover on the inside.
I do think as time goes on, we're going to see a lot more creators crowdfund on their own websites. Because I'm going to tell you right now, most of my support comes from Twitter. Like, if you look at the statistics from my campaign, I could literally go to any crowdfunding site and probably be successful because my support comes from outside. Like, I bring 2 people to the platform, so I can go anywhere really. And before anyone says it, I personally do not recommend Fund My Comic for a couple different reasons. For one, I'm not a big fan of the guy who creates it, and also it's a small kind of independent run operation. And when you're handling that much money, I kind of find that a bit like suspect, where it's like people kind of like very small time people doing like big operations. I feel like it's like vulnerable, and honestly, it's just one group of people complaining away from of people shutting it down. So I just don't trust it. If you like using that site, more power to you. But that's just my personal opinion.
Well, that, and what Rose mentioned with the Comic Wellspring, like there is like a lot of people are using Indiegogo mainly for its in demand as a marketplace. Okay. And like what is it? Over at Irish Chronicles, he was mentioning that it's like $40 a month for Shopify accounts. So if you're not selling like at least 40 or more dollars a month worth of books, then Shopify becomes a liability, and otherwise you'll have to build in your own online market place for your product. Like what I'm doing, I'm cheating. Like I'm literally, it's like, hey, you want to buy book 1? Yeah, sure. We got this nice little marketplace. I hit buy now, and guess what? Boom, it goes right into the Amazon marketplace. So I'm leveraging their I'm leveraging their marketplace essentially to host my books. As far as like, payment processing and all that goes, yeah, they'll take a hit, but it's inventory I don't have to hold on to. It's no surprise shipping,
Chris, I need to get you in touch with RJ. There might be a better solution for you in terms of publishing books.
Well,
we'll talk after. We'll talk after the stream. But yeah. So Rose, what's your opinion on like the Kickstarter versus Indiegogo debate? Like, which one do you prefer?
I've never used Indiegogo, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. I don't think I've backed anything ever on Indiegogo because everything I've always done was on Kickstarter. And the only reason why I started using Kickstarter was because it was the first thing I heard of. And I ended up doing like a ton of research on it before I launched my Kickstarter. So most of my knowledge and background is like how to use Kickstarter and navigating that website and setting up a campaign on that one.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where my biases come in because like I started with Kickstarter, then I switched to Indiegogo, did a bunch of campaigns. The Patreon stuff. Yeah, that's another topic we got to get hold of.
Yeah,
that's
no. Yeah, trust me, we'll get to that. Like I it's probably like me being more familiar with Indiegogo and how it works. But the thing that I don't like about Kickstarter is the fact that like when you make a payment on Indiegogo, when you back something, it instantly takes your money and then it takes your address right then and there. Okay. Yep. With Kickstarter, it's like, oh, you pledged, oh, ding, and then afterwards they take your money at the end of the campaign, and then you have to fill in your address. So what you end up having is drop pledges or people not fill out your goddamn surveys, and on all that stuff. So you had to chase people down after, and I found that pissed me off. So like that alone, I'm going with Indiegogo because like the fact that on Indiegogo, that is not even an issue. Like you don't even think about it on Indiegogo, so they just take it right then and there. And because when I don't like the idea of, oh, I got funded for $1,500. Oh, I had $600 worth of drop pledges. Oh, guess I'm not going to be able to do my book. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, chasing down people for addresses is quite fun.
Yes, people can reverse, get a refund for a certain amount of time after it. Yes, but that's something they have to do themselves. They have to actually go in there and request a refund. You know what I'm saying? But for someone not to pay on, for someone not to fill, but for someone not to fill out the address, they just have to do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I made it my mission with my first Kickstarter last year to be like, hey guys, you gotta fill this out. You need to do it. And I was blasting on social media, and I did end up having a person who never filled it out, and they backed it. And obviously my Kickstarter got funded, but they never got the book because they never gave the address. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to hold the entire campaign over and screw everyone else out just because you couldn't give me your address until 4 months after the campaign was over. And I had one or two or three people who did that, and I was just like, well, you're not getting the book. Thank you for backing the project, but I'm not sending you the book now because I don't have your address.
Then a year later they fill it out and you're like, I'll get it to you when I can.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm in a really unique scenario, so unfortunately you're screwing yourself over if you can't pay attention to your emails.
Yeah,
within a month of the campaign ending.
I'll just say on Indiegogo that would not be a problem. Because they take it and that's the thing. I just hate doing all this stuff because you're pissing people off by spamming this stuff. They don't hey, or hey, your payment didn't go through. Can you please pay? You feel like an asshole.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just rather. And the other thing is the pre-launch pages. The pre-launch pages on Indiegogo are better because Kickstarter, you just have a picture. With Indiegogo, you can actually have a trailer, and you can actually have more pictures and little more of a blur.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
There's more customization. So Rose, I would recommend looking into Indiegogo, and I'm like, if you choose not to do it, that's fine. But I do think it's worth investigating.
Well,
I considered doing crowdfunding for my novel. I just don't know any like printing services that would like do the printing and shipping to people. Like
what I do is I have Comics Wellspring print it, and then they ship it off to RJ at Critical Blast, who is like a great guy, and then he does this fulfillment. And he works with a lot of people. He's really great.
Yeah, I have to figure out because again, I'm not in the United States right now, so.
I think he has like international options. I'd recommend.
Well, for novels specifically, not comic books.
Yeah. RJ has Critical Blast has done more than just comics.
Oh, yeah, okay. Like he actually, and he actually like he does like actually novels and whatnot. So he's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'd have to look into that.
But yeah, that's who I recommend. He's like that guy's go-to for everything. Like he's even starting to doing print stuff. Actually, 1 second. Let me. You guys talk for a second. Okay. I might be inviting someone in.
All right. Does Comic Wellspring give you a good deal? Yeah, I would say Comic Wellspring gives you a relatively good deal. Yeah, I had a very positive experience last year when I was working with them, and I'm going to be working with them again for Volume 2 of Division 5.
Yeah, I've been working with them for a while now.
I've seen it as a roll of the dice. I've had good experience with Comic Wellspring, and I've had bad experience with them.
I think with me is like the only bad experience I've had with them is their card printing can be a bit sus. Like when they cut the cards, sometimes they do it a bit inconsistently. But other than that, I've thought they've been really good.
No, I got I'm beyond just doing my own comic, I've actually done a lot of pre-press for quite a few indie creators, and laying out their books for them, getting them ready for press and all that stuff. And a lot of indie creators had no idea like what went into pre-press, like how do I prepare my PDF for print and blah 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 blah. So a lot of them were kind of at the mercy of these companies that had no liaisons. It was literally know what you're doing or don't bother doing business with us. So I came in.
Comics Wellspring. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I came in and I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? And I get the email that was sent to the person, and I'm like, so this is what you've been being jerked around for the last 2.5 months. Like your book has been ready for print for over 2.5 months, and this is what they've been jerking you around with. And it's like, yes. I'm like, okay. Opened up Adobe InDesign, laid out all the CMYK traps, did the whole thing, put in the nice little bleeding gutters or the, all the stuff that they needed, sent it back. And about 2 weeks go by. And then they get another email saying, something like this page or something wasn't formatted right or whatever. And I was like, okay, which one is it? So I look at the email again and I fix it. And it turns out it wasn't like a formatting issue. It was something on their side. I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was, how everything has to be divisible by 4 because it's like a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way that they were handling their cover, there was something really hokey about it in terms of like the cover needed to have excessive, like a larger size than the pages or whatever. And I was like, okay, just give me the dimensions. I'll resize the page or whatever. And when I did that, it moved the spine slightly closer to the front or to the back cover or whatever. And I had to, basically redesign it in Photoshop. Wasn't a big deal, but it took like 2 weeks for them to get around to that. And I was like,
that's insane. 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm like, this is a month and a half of latency for a campaign that already ended and people were trying to fulfill. And it's like, imagine now if you didn't know what you were doing. Like if you didn't have the wherewithal to crack open InDesign, fix everything. Like you get inundated with a bunch of numbers. You don't know what they mean. Like this should be like I worked at a newspaper for 6.5 years, and we did side projects. We did a lot of commercial printing as well. And part of pre-press's job was being a liaison with the customer. So it was like, you sent us RGB images. We need them to be CMYK. You don't know how to do that. We'll do that for you for an extra charge, And and none of that exists in a lot of these companies, like these printing companies. They're just like, oh, you don't know what you're doing? Oh, that's too bad. See you in 2 weeks.
I found that
haven't figured it out.
Yeah, I found that like Comics Wellspring, they do actually have a design like people on staff, and we also have a certain Blast.
Hey.
So we were just talking about you, and we're talking about like what it takes to be an indie creator. So can you explain what you do? Like what's your step in the process?
How long have you got? I mean, which process do you want to know about? Because we've got a couple of processes.
Do the fulfillment side of things, because
which you're familiar. So yeah, we sit down, we talk with creators before they launch, preferably. That would be the greatest. And they tell us, I'm going to make a book, and it's going to be so many pages, and I'm going to put some trading cards in there, and I might make a T-shirt. And we say, that's great. How many pages is your book? How big is your book? And then we give weights and measures, and we look at the calendar to see if the post office is getting ready to change rates real soon. And we say, this is what you should charge for the shipping on this tier, and this is what you should charge for the shipping on that tier. That way you don't get hit with any surprises.
So, question. So Rose is kind of like, okay, Rose, just explain your situation to him. You probably would do a better job.
Sure. So I live on a military installation overseas. A U.S. military. Yeah. So we cannot use the post office for any type of business purposes, or else I'll lose command sponsorship, aka I'll be kicked off. And I'll lose my SOFA status, and then I gotta go back to America. So I have to use a service that does the printing and shipping fulfillment for me.
Oh, so they're doing it all then?
Yeah. So Comics Wellspring, I've been using them. I used them for my first campaign last year, and they do both.
Well, the question is, because when I do Comics Wellspring, yes, Dave, and they do. The thing is, they work with the Phoenix Press, which is a really big name. but no,
I've heard of them.
Yeah, I hear the guys. I hear the guy who runs it a bit of an asshole, but whatever. He's got a great live stream though, so
that's true. Anyway. His live streams are pretty cool.
Yes, but like when I do Comics Wellspring, they're actually really good about shipping the books to Critical Blast, and then they do it. Like actually, they do partial stuff. Like they ship out part of the stuff, and the rest I pick up. Like in my experience, Critical Blast. I mean, well, yes, Critical Blast, but also Comics Wellspring. They're willing to work with you. Like they're actually very receptive to like weird types of arrangements, and they're very, very nice. So I would imagine, I'm not going to take this for gospel, if you actually like contacted keeps wanting to say Critical Blast, Comics Wellspring, and said, hey, can you ship all the books to Critical Blast, and then he do the fulfillment, I would imagine, I'm not saying this for certain, they'd be more than happy to acquiesce to that.
I can tell you with certainty that they will be happy to acquiesce to that, because I've got boxes right here now from Comics Wellsprings. People had their books printed there and had them shipped to me.
Oh, that's really awesome. Okay.
Yeah, we just want to give you options. So, like, if you decide to keep feeling fulfilled with Comics Wellspring, that's cool. I just want to give you options.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely consider it, because I'm still new on how all that works, especially from like the position that I'm in. So,
how big is your book, Rose?
It's 164 pages right now.
Yeah. Nick. 164 pages, and she's going to Comics Wellspring. You didn't give her the 2100 Samurai discount?
I didn't. First off, I didn't know that exists. Also, I'm trying to recruit Chris to print with you, but that well, that's a thing for later.
Because Rose, here's the other side of this coin. Yes, you can have your comic printed there, shipped to us, and then we distribute it, fulfill it to the people on your crowdfunder. The other option is that you can send us the print files, and we will print the book for you, have it shipped to us, and distribute it to your crowdfunders. And then turn on the distribution flag so that Amazon and Walmart and Barnes & Noble and Powell's do the distribution from that point forward.
Which
I didn't even realize you're connected with them and work with like Amazon.
no, which you notice? You remember how I showed Current Samurai on Barnes and Noble?
Yeah.
That's through RJ. Like that's done through Critical Blast.
Yeah. Nick and I have been going through a string of anger and frustration today. Because like Nick got angry and frustrated at me, and then I got angry and frustrated at Ingram, and it turns out it's the post office's fault.
So look, see right here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, so so basically what happened with the book is I was supposed to get my book today, but there's some kerfuffle at the post office. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it didn't arrive today, and I'm kind of a little bit miffed. I was
waiting for it all day long, and it's like your book, and it's like the book.
Thankfully, I didn't like go off on Critical Blast, but
come on.
I basically I insulted his mother. That's the
he was hurt.
I told him I said his mother's spaghetti tasted like crap. So I'm kind of
that's a really bad insult.
But hey, you should be able to go to your post office and get that sent back. Call your post office like first thing tomorrow morning and tell them this thing should be coming here. Why is it being sent back?
I'll try, but I feel like they're already going to be sending it back tomorrow. But we'll see.
No. Yeah, I mean they gave you the exemption just today. They've still got their hands on it.
Okay. We'll talk about this later. Chris. But yeah, let's focus on advertising your platform for right now. So yeah, I honestly I'd say I'm satisfied with like working with Critical Blast. Like they help kind of design the cover. Like Chris, I don't know if you're still here or not, but I do think you should team up with RJ for this stuff.
To design my cover?
no, to have your book out into all these places. Because here's the thing, you could actually have an inside front cover with Critical Blast. I know. Got up quiet all of a sudden.
We do publishing and we take care of the printing, through a printer. We don't have like printers in the building. But we take care of the publishing, we take care of the distribution, we have creative services on hand, all under one roof.
Yeah.
There was a gaping hole in the industry 4 years ago, and we filled it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to consider, especially if you do distribution around like Amazon and like Barnes and Noble, because I'm planning to put up my my first comic book up on Amazon, but I just have to do one or two things to it. But like I have all the files and everything ready, so
I think going with RJ is better. Yeah, I think going with RJ is better in my opinion because you're still getting essentially what is print on demand. But it's done through RJ. Plus, it's done through like Borders. Not Board. Oh my God, dear God!
Oh, the nostalgia wave just hit me.
Yeah, you get it through Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and lots of other places. You get into more places. And I honestly think RJ's method of printing is superior to KDP. You hear that, RJ? You're better than Amazon. Jeff Bezos don't got nothing on you.
He has nothing.
We're gonna yacht together next year. Oh, the website's back up. I've been sitting here clicking away today.
Then RJ, Dave has a question for you. He says, "Are you Critical Blast very selective of who you work with, or will you basically work with any new creators?"
We're working with Nick, for God's sake. I mean, kidding.
All right. Well. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Dave. We are very open, but we will be selective. I mean, there are things we will not publish, and thankfully we haven't run into those things yet. Things that I dare not even mention on an open YouTube stream.
You wouldn't publish Yankee Doodle Dandy? How unpatriotic!
It's like it's pretty wide open as to what we would publish. I mean. But if you've had a Kickstarter and it's been successful, and you're showing that you're selling stuff, well, we can help you sell more stuff.
I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely interested because I'm still dipping my toes in the realm of selling physical comics.
I'm sure you wouldn't publish a book that deals with 1930s and 40s era Germans.
Depends on how it deals with them.
Okay.
We might not, if octopi are heavily involved, we might have to say, yeah, this isn't for us.
So I guess that answers that question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Division 5 is a 17 up story, so.
To be fair,
so some people are like, "Oh, we won't do violence and stuff like that." I'm just sitting here scratching my head, going,
Rose, Turn 2100 Samurai is a 17 plus story, and if you will publish my garbage, he'll publish your gold.
Hey, if Comics Wellspring is printing it, we'll publish it too. If you've gone to Larry, if Larry Flint has looked at it and said, "Oh hell no," we probably won't touch it either.
If Larry Flint won't touch it, neither will you. That is some standards right there.
Yeah. There's no like nudity or sexual content in my. Well, I mean, like obviously like flirting or something. No. Yeah. There's nothing like that in it. Like,
you better put in a nip slip, otherwise we won't print it.
Yep.
Yeah. The most that happens is yeah, because like the most there is like vulgar language and like swearing or F-bombs being dropped left and right, and then like
there's plenty of F-bombs in my story, so if you'll print my garbage, you'll print your gold.
All right, cool. Because I always worry about that. I'm just like, this is not a family friendly story.
Okay. Let me show you a certain page from issue 1 of this book. So you guys kind of keep talking for a second while I look this up.
Everyone stay silent.
Yes. Nobody say a god dang word. Please.
I'm all verklempt.
Word.
So, okay. This is a page from the book that RJ published. Okay. If RJ will publish this, I'm sure he'll publish your book.
I have worse.
Yeah,
much worse. We listen color.
Wait till you see. Yeah. Issue 2. There's literal arms getting chopped off and stuff. It's glorious.
That's great. I love it.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure RJ would have no issue with that.
If it's legal, we're fine.
So it has to be legal in what jurisdiction?
The U.S.
The U.S.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
I know.
All right.
I guess I should say I'm publishing in Arkansas. I don't want anybody knocking on my door specifically. So,
Rose. Do you have anything worse than this?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Also, naughty language alert. Just gonna briefly show that.
I'm literally staring at this page right now. I don't know if I should screen share it. It's already it's already a line. So
yeah, we're probably gonna be wrapping up here in a second. So just do it.
Okay.
Do it. Oh!
I blinked.
Oh!
You asked for it.
You want it, you got it.
I was reading the said I used content about nipple slips, and I didn't see it.
All right, so by the way, there's 106 people watching this right now. So just to let you know, apparently streaming on Twitter is pretty big business. But anyway, so let's wrap up. Let's say our final words, final FUs. Rose, you go first.
Oh, so you want me to say FU? Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can if you want to.
I'm not that mean. Not yet.
I am.
Also, congratulations. Also, congrats on 106. Wow, that's a lot.
Well, actually, we're at 109 right now, but still.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Awesome. We're at 109.
Yeah.
All right. What was the question one more time?
110. We hit 110.
We did it. We made it.
Yeah.
We get 115. 115 before we close out.
All right.
You gotta do it. Invite your friends.
Final FUs.
Okay. So, back Division 5 on Kickstarter on April 2nd at 9 a.m. EST. We're gonna be going live, and the funding goal is $1,000. Let's see how fast we can get it funded. It's getting funded, but we want to see how fast we can do it.
Do it, or Winter will come in and crap on your bed.
That'd be really unfortunate if that happened.
Yes. Like herding cats.
Yeah. So yes, definitely check it out. I believe Nick put the link down.
Yes, it is in this. You have to scroll up a bit because chat's been pretty lively this time. Thank you, chat. But yes, it is in the chat, and thank you, chat, for being so awesome. But you're gonna have to scroll up to get it now. So
yeah. If you like to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I am going to put it in the chat once more. We have a mod. We have an appearance by a mod. Also, 117. Like, I swear, it's like just as we're wrapping up, everyone starts flooding in.
They're just like, oh, this must be some good stuff going on.
I mean, you're here, so there definitely is.
Heck yeah. But yeah, no, if you want to follow me on any social media, I am on Twitter. It's Roselinath. And then I'm also on Instagram as roselinath.art. So I post all the Division 5 updates there and whatnot. And you can find Division 5 on Tapas, Webtoon, and Global Comics. And if you're also on Discord and want to hang out with a bunch of other sci-fi nerds like me, there is I'm a big fat nerd. So
I always envision you as a skinny nerd. So
I'm an average size being. I lost 115 pounds, so I'd say I'm pretty good.
Military do that to you.
It's a control of my health and my life. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there is a Division 5 Discord. Anyone is welcome to join if they enjoy any type of sci-fi, horror, or Division 5. It's discord.gg/Division 5.
Awesome possum. Oh, 120. We broke 120.
We did it.
All right, we did it, fellas. We have beaten communism.
Finally.
Yes, at last. So RJ,
Yes.
shill away.
CriticalBlast.com, Critical Blast on X, Critical Blast on Facebook, Critical Blast on YouTube. We will print, we will fulfill, we will distribute, we will do creative services. So if you need coloring, you need lettering fixes, you need covers created, you need, padding out with original art, let us know. We will print your hardcover, softcover, multiple sizes, manga size, oversized. We are there.
Do you give pep talks?
No one listens to me.
Oh no, that sucks.
I give pep talks, but they come out like.
All right, EOR. So Chris, what do you want to say? What do you got to say?
Well, you can check out Infinitel Chronicles Book 1 on Amazon right now. Infinitel Chronicles Book 2, the campaign, crowdfunding campaign should be kicked off later this year. I'll be attending a con. I should have some physical copies in hand around September. Head on over to InfinitelChronicles.com to also check out latest news. And if there's any additional information or lore diving or art that you want to check out, it's also on there as well. And thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. So as for myself, I just want to say thank you everyone for being here. All 127 of you.
Yes.
I can't believe it. That is crazy. Thank you for getting me to 500 subscribers. The 500 sub special will be on Wednesday. I'll be reading one more day. And if you want some more Nick action, you can catch me on Jared's channel on CLD, where I will be giving him the hardest of time. Wonder bat. That's for you, Dave. I'll also be streaming Spider-Man on tomorrow on Saturday. That's gonna be really great. I just realized I never scheduled that stream. I'll take care of that. But
it's time to schedule it.
Yeah, GingerCast 3 is gonna be on Monday. That's gonna be really freaking awesome. I have a full pack schedule. You guys are awesome. Also, please make sure to buy my book on Barnes & Noble. But most of all, just remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it.